Oh my goodness. Did I just? Okay. Sorry, you all. Okay. I know. Did you guys hear me before? Give me a 1. Or did I just hit mute? So here's what we're doing today. We have, hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm going to start right back over because I think I was on mute. We have a lot of disturbing content today. It has been proven that DCS, through a state commission that reviewed severe child abuse cases, found that children were being trafficked, and using meth while staying in DCS offices. They weren't even all being put into homes. They were in offices together unsupervised. I was muted, so I'm saying welcome and hello, you all. Sorry about that. I initially heard about this about 5 months, 6 months ago when they were looking into it, but they were looking into the conditions of allowing kids to sleep in the offices. And indeed, as the investigation furthered, they have now found that DCS has reports of children being trafficked and using meth. And the most disturbing thing I want to share with you is they are saying it is the conditions for the children with disabilities are the worst. They are the worst. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you for being here. Before we get started, we have a couple of things I want to talk to you about. First of all, are any of you from Springdale, Arkansas? Are any of you from Springdale, Arkansas, or in that area? And if you are, I need to know, are you noticing things happening around there lately? Weird things going on around there. So we really, if you are in Arkansas near Springdale, please keep your eyes open. Please keep your ears open. If you see anything strange happening, call 911, let us know, whatever. But please, if you are in that area, it is very important you become very vigilant right now. Second piece of information that I would love from you all is anything we crowdsource today in our members live, and we're going to do a little bit right now. Everyone who has information on Summer's aunt who disappeared, Rosemary Bly, I would love it if you would email me, crimetimebuzz@gmail.com, and just send me what you know. I know that's been a long time since we've covered that case, but Rosemary Bly is Summer Wells' aunt who went missing years before Summer went missing. She is still missing. She is one of FBI's most wanted, and she's in the VICAP section, which is the violence. So very well could be that she was TRAFFICKED. They also, in that family, the father, Don Wells, Summer's father, had been caught on a corner years before Summer went missing trying to sell his daughter for drugs. Recent story came to me recently. Well, we know Don Wells went to, what is that area? Is it Knoxville? He used to go to the you-know-what houses and stay for a few days. And oftentimes when he would leave, he would have a debt for rugs. And other things were going on there too. The story came to me yesterday, and we don't know if it's true, that's where he would take his children to help them become men, allegedly, in my opinion. What the report we're talking about today, and I'm going to share it with you. We're going to go through the report. I'm going to let you listen to some news articles on it, and we're going to talk about it in relation to Sebastian and Summer, for that matter, because both of these children who disappeared from Tennessee, aloha, both of these children who disappeared from Tennessee were involved with Department of Child Services. Summer Wells went missing the day before Child Protective Service, DCS, was supposed to show up. Sebastian Rogers had 5 visits to his home. And the last one wasn't too long before he went missing. So now we find out that they are, especially children with disabilities, are in the worst conditions of all the complaints and all the things they found. And they are trafficking. Kids are being trafficked. And a lot of times, you've got that meth use. They keep them drugged up so they don't know what's going on. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get on camera, but I'm in a different outfit. So, okay. So it's a tragedy, but anything you know about Rosemary Bly, and if you are in the Springdale, Arkansas area or know someone there, please have them keep their eyes open for anything very strange happening in the area. And especially, we have all those, little motels you always have to watch out for. Those little motels you watch out for, because those motels are where a lot of the problems happen. Truck stops are another place they happen. And if you recall, if you followed the Rosemary Bly case, which is Summer's aunt who went missing, her car was found at a truck stop, parked near a truck stop. Her story was we were told by her husband, who they had been, having problems, divorcing, getting back, because they had little kids. The story he tells is that she was going to meet her cousin. And they were going to go out for a while after dinner. The cousin says she was not going out with Rosemary. And Rosemary's car was found closer to Grandis, Summerwell's grandma, Candace's mom's area, at a truck stop, kind of like heading in that direction. So please keep your eyes open. Send any information to crimetimebuzz@gmail.com regarding Summer Wells, or Springdale, Arkansas, or Rosemary Bly. Thank you so much. Now we have an announcement in the chat that I just saw. You'd like to know when Grandis came to Tennessee, after Rose missing or later? After Rose went missing, Grandis moved to Tennessee. She was living in Wisconsin when Rose went missing. So I'm not sure the date she moved in. Maybe she moved in once Don and Candace took the property over on Ben Hill Road. But I'm just guessing. Let me see. There was someone else saying an announcement in here that they have. I will pull up a picture of Rosemary right now. Rose has a cherry tattoo on her ankle. Someone had a really cute. I will pull it up right now, my friend. Let me see. Someone's going to be a grandma, right? And I can't see where it was. It moved too fast. Okay, well, congratulations. I'm sorry, it moved away from me. Someone said they are going to be a grandmother, and I don't know who that was. Oh, a great grandma in June, Cat Lady. Congratulations. Congratulations, Cat Lady. Hi, Poppy Love. Hello, everyone. Hi, Cheryl. Everyone coming in, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Joanne. We are going to go ahead. Hi, Becky. Okay, Minnie says, teach. Don Wells said he saw a woman with bunch of kids, not hers, giving them meth and sent them from and STing them from a motel, allegedly. Yes, Don Wells seems to have been experienced a lot of alleged stories about being in places where he saw children being ST'd. He tells a story that when he was in California once, he was in a hotel room and there were all these young kids there, and he didn't know till later on that those kids were probably being sex trafficked. Okay, so yes, he has a history. We talk about histories of people needing to focus in on their histories, and his history is quite alarming. His first daughter, and this came out of his own mouth. Hi, Jerry. His first daughter was RAPED'd on her 18th birthday, and the story he told to YouTube was he was so proud of her because she didn't make a big deal about it. So that is what we're dealing with Summer Wells. So Summer is missing. Real quick, I am going to pull up Rose Bly for you. And then we will get started on the other stuff. This is, let me take this down. Thank you, Minnie. This is Rosemary Bly. She went missing. Oh, let me pull up the dates, you all. This is Summer Wells' aunt, 2 people in one family. So her 2 red cherries are on her right ankle. Bly was last seen leaving her residence in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, en route to Cushing, Wisconsin, a distance of 5 miles. Her car was recovered 5 days later in Grantsburg, and that's close to where her mother lived, in a parking lot typically used by truck drivers to park their tractor trailers. This parking lot is approximately 30 miles from her residence. Darling girl. She is in the VICAP alert, which is the violent crime alert. So I'm wondering, violent criminal apprehension program? That makes me think that they believe she was trafficked. I don't know, you all, but she has been missing since, when did, 2009, August 21st of 2009. And that is Rosemary Bly. So if you have any information on Rosemary Bly, please share it with me. If you have any information regarding Springdale, Arkansas, you live there, you know someone who lives there, please share that with me. And if you are in that area, please keep your eyes open. Did she have an Amber Alert? Let me look. That's a great question. Well, she was an adult with 2 children when she went missing. She was 21, so she wouldn't have had an Amber Alert. She would not have. Good question, though. Thank you for asking that, Anna. So, Rosemary, Springdale, Arkansas, if you hear anything, see anything, know anyone who lives there, let me know, please. And it is, yes, it is very rare for one family to have 2 missing. And the common denominator in there, well, is the grandma and the mom. Now, the mom tells the story that Don wasn't in her life when Rose went missing. So, I mean, we're going to I'll be looking into that late in a little while too. But that's Rosemary. If you know anything, she is still missing, please report it. If you do have any information or you live near Springdale, Arkansas, please reach out to me, crimetimebuzz@gmail.com. And that is about it right now. Oh, okay. I think we are making a little progress with the report I filed yesterday against the deputy who gave the finger to Seth Rogers. Let me switch this to Seth Rogers, because I did have to file a tip today. And that tip, I think it was last night, but no, it was this morning, I think, that I finally got it in. But a tip from someone who thought they perhaps may have seen a sighting, of Sebastian in a vehicle driving past. And so they sent me the tip. I submitted it. And guess what? Lead Detective Brandon Carter got back to me. 2 years of tips not getting a response, and he got back to me. So I think we have made some headwaves. I think we've made some waves about the way those deputies treated Seth and the way the case was being treated, because I have not gotten a response that quickly or at all. Now, someone just said I was there for that, Jay. You were there for that, the real me. For what? Sorry, you all. I get distracted and I don't know what you guys are talking about in there. What are you floored about, gypsies? If you're in the bushes, I'm just looking at the comments real quick. They have a lot to say. Oh, you were there for that. Oh my goodness, the real me. You were there for the whole thing. Got it. Yes, you were there for the flipping off. Okay, well, I filed a report. A supervisor sergeant called me back. I followed up with an email, and I listed numerous things about ignoring the father, about bringing the FBI in his lead, not calling in the marshals, many things. And then I had to send a tip, and I really honestly wasn't expecting a response from historically. And the few times I've heard from Detective Carter, short, and this is short too, but there was a tone to it. Craddock didn't get back to me, hon. Brandon Carter did. So I submitted a tip. Someone thought they saw Sebastian in a vehicle. It's nothing I can validate. They have to look into it. I wasn't going to bring it up at all because I usually wait a day or two at least. but the person who saw him has posted it on X. So I just wanted to, or had submitted the tip to me, posted it on X, so I might as well talk about it. But anyway, I submitted it to Brandon Carter, I submitted it to the FBI, I submitted it to TBI, I submitted it to Dog and at Night, and I submitted it to a PI who works on behalf of Seth Rogers, and I did get a response from Brandon Carter. I think we have made some progress. I hope this case gets escalated. I think people are being spoken to, because listen to this, an actual response. Yes, it's one sentence, but it's respectful and it's a response. Thank you. Just kidding, that wasn't it. Thank you. I also forwarded to the FBI. Y'all, that's huge in comparison. Then he signs it, respectfully, Detective Brandon Carter. Now, when I did submit the tip, and I'm not going to read you the tip because I'm not ready. I mean, it was a car passing by, but remember, if you think so, say so, and we report it, because we never know, do we? And again, but I want to tell you, when I submitted the tip to the FBI and to TBI and to Brandon Carter, I did add something in here. And I said, where is it? Oh, lead detective. So this is to the FBI, TBI, and Brandon Carter and Dogs team. And so I told them, I have received a tip from a concerned individual. They did not call 911, but they did message me. I am an independent true crime journalist. And so I started to explain the tip. And then I put 4 stars, asterisks, and I said, lead detective Brandon Carter, please investigate this tip, since Sumner County Sheriff Office demands lead jurisdiction over the FBI, who the father has begged you to have take the lead, and you won't call in the U.S. Marshals as the father has been begging for. This child's life matters. And he responded. So I think we've made progress. I think that the deputy's behavior the other day towards Seth Rogers, let me turn off my camera, towards Seth Rogers, has rippled some waves through Sumner County, because it was caught on camera. It's all over social media. And I filed a report, and I know you guys saw At Night posted that they are filing an extensive report. So I think some people are being spoken to. Yes. So I think, hi, Yogi, some people are being spoken to. Then we have to talk about what in the world is happening in Tennessee. Tennessee children. Yes, Brandon Carter is better than no one. And you know what? Brandon's the one I tagged. I did, or sent it to. I didn't send it to Craddock. I sent it to Brandon Carter because he's the lead detective, and TBI and FBI and At Night and Dog. But he is the one that I addressed in the tip, saying, please get on top of this. Usually we're ignored. He ignored us all through the ransom. He's ignored pretty much every tip I've ever sent him. And so this is progress that he did respond, which tells me the report I filed yesterday must have made an impact after the sergeant got off the phone, finding out that one of the deputies is flipping the father off. They're not calling the FBI. They're not calling the marshals. They haven't spoken to the father. They haven't done a press conference. They don't open emails. They don't respond to tips. They don't have a tip line that people can actually reach. And I went on and on and on. So, hi, I am a real Ginger 22. So I think we're making a little progress. And I hope so. And I know At Night posted on X that they are going in very strong with a report. So now we have DCS. DCS, I agree. Eric Craddock does need to resign, in my opinion. Yes. And it's sad. But if you look in the comments of what happened and where our video that we have about the video of the deputies doing that, people are appalled. And even people are like, they just embarrassed everyone who serves. And that's what's so, You get 1 or 2 bad eggs and they make everyone else look bad, and that's what a lot of people are upset about. Hi, Mark. So that's what a lot of people are very upset about. Thank you, Yogi. I appreciate you all too. So Summer Wells was involved with DCS when she went missing. Sebastian Rogers was as well. If you were in my live last night, I was speculating a theory that I cannot get out of my head. And we'll talk about it, especially since now we're hearing not only are the kids being ST'd and drugs going on, but the children with disabilities are being treated the worst. So let's go ahead and get into it today. Thank you so much for being here. Truly, I really appreciate you being here. We are going to get right to it with the first article. One second. I don't have everything in a slideshow today because I was at my niece's baby shower, and she is having a little girl. So I'm going to be a great aunt again.
It is over. The system is online. This is the new era.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm excited. She has a little boy who's a doll baby. He's almost 3. So cute. I'm glad she's a little girl. Cute. And thank you to that lady who's going to be a great grandma.
Can you hear the alarm?
Family announcements while we're in the chat together?
It calls us home. Panic.
Now it's not young punks. Exactly. I agree with you. If you all were with us a few nights ago, Dog the Bounty Hunter was in here, and he made a comment about their ages as well and their experience, saying one of them only has been able to drink alcohol for 7 years. Which one? I'm trying to pull up a specific article first, so hold on one second. There it is. Let me just open it this way. Sorry, y'all. Okay. I will share this tab. Why am I not? Sorry, y'all. I am not together. I raced home because I wanted to see you all and be able to get on here, and there it is. Okay. Sorry about that. So I'm not quite as organized as I'd love to be. But hi, Poppy Love. Thank you so much for your $4.99. Jay, thank you for working hard for the past 2 years to help Sebastian be found. God bless you. Oh, Poppy Love, thank you so much. It's an honor. We have passion. We can't quit till we bring one home. We can't turn our heads. And that's why I appreciate you, Sebastian's Army, because you're still here. You haven't given up. Hey, Minnie, you have not given up. Yes, Dog was upset. Dog was very upset the other night when he was in here. And I'm just worried because Sebastian had CPS in his life. And now we're hearing the children with disabilities, it's the worst. And we're hearing they're trafficking kids. And we're hearing kids are on meth. And we're hearing they're sleeping in offices rather than homes, and they are unsupervised. And then they're also being trafficked out of transitional homes. It's just disgusting. So let's go ahead and let's read this. I'm going to read it. Tennessee lawmaker asked the Department of Justice to investigate DCS, Tennessee, by the way, over treatment of children with disabilities and placement issues. And if you were with me the other night, I started going down a rabbit hole of theories, 5 visits to Sebastian's home, if they're trafficking kids. Was there an arrangement? Did they take him into custody? Did someone not fight to get him back? Were they told the father wasn't around, or the father? No, they probably were told the father was in the picture. I'm just speculating. Is that why we had someone being reported a runaway? Did they not expect that this to go on and on and on? And could that be why a certain individual has recently said, if he paraphrasing, if he comes back when he's 18 in Tennessee, it's just a misdemeanor? Because if you're with DCS and they have custody of you when you're 18, you time out of that custody. Just a theory, you all. Just a theory. But I think it needs to be thought of, because this is proof that the officials in Tennessee, officials who are supposed to be taking care of children and protecting children, are hurting children. They're harming children. They're taking children out of their homes, which is traumatic. Even if their abusers are their parents, they still identify, associate, and love them. They're being removed to a strange foreign place and they're being mistreated. And we are going to read the report, so buckle up, because as I was reading it and I put it away to read the rest with you all, part of what I saw is that they were restraining kids to the point where they were breaking bones. So I think they should have to take each and every one of those people, and I hate it. We need to do to them what they're doing to the kids. Oh, great channel, great aunt. Thank you, Mark. Good to see you. You all are amazing. So here we go. We know Sebastian had disabilities. We know he had DCS over at his house 5 times. It is rumored there was a Bower Sox that worked for DCS and was very high up, the very one that would have been servicing Stafford Court. Did they take Sebastian into custody? Did they report him around? Did it be arranged? Was it arranged? Just give us Sunday fun day, then we'll report him. Then we'll report him a runaway and you guys can have him. I don't know, you guys. But after seeing this, anything's possible. It's just terrible. Oh, good. I'm back. Glad you're back, Anne. I have not been on my emails since our members live this morning because I had the family gender reveal and stuff. So let's read, but I will check my email before I come on tomorrow. Thank you. So Tennessee lawmakers asked the DOJ to investigate DCS over treatment of children with disabilities and placement issues. Representative Afton Bain filed the complaint after a state commission report, and we're going to read that report, documented drug use and trafficking concerns inside Department of Child Services facilities. And make no mistake, that is in Tennessee, right here. And we are going to listen to some videos too. A Tennessee state lawmaker has called on the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate the Tennessee Department of Child Services, citing what she calls systematic civil rights violations affecting children with disabilities in state custody. That worries me. Representative Afton Bain, Democrat from Nashville, filed the complaint to Attorney General Pam Bondi and other senior DOJ officials, requesting the Civil Rights Division open an investigation into DCS. The DOJ has not responded. Oh, interesting. Interesting. They have not responded. Bain alleges that children with disabilities in DCS custody are disproportionately placed in restrictive, non-family settings, denied services in integrated environments, and subjected to repeated placement instability and prolonged time in state custody. I will repeat that. Prolonged time in state custody. The complaint states that a September 2024 ruling by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Department Appeals Board upheld findings that Tennessee failed to archive substantial conformity with federal child welfare requirements. That ruling pointed out placement stability and permanency outcomes and resulted in the withholding of about $770,000 in federal funds from the state. Bain argues that the state's planned expansion of state-operated placement facilities would be moving in the opposite direction of federal law and away from family-based placements. here, and this is her complaint. I write to request that the Civil Rights Division initiate a pattern or practice investigation into the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, DCS, based on substantial evidence indicating systematic violations of children's constitutional and statutory civil rights. These concerns include potential violations of Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Well, hello, Tennessee. You are aware you do have an Americans with Disabilities Act. Interesting. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act and the integration mandate articulated in Olmstead versus LC. A review of public records, federal oversight fundings, budgetary materials, and pending litigation raises serious concerns that Tennessee's child welfare system is failing to protect children in state custody and that its currently financing and service delivery structures perpetuate. Whoa, where's the rest of it? Oh, I guess they only gave us that much. Perpetuate. I don't want to go to the whole document. So, findings from the Second Look Commission. So the commission came in and we want the kids back. That's right. Hi, Loose Cannon. Hi, SoCal, Low. Sorry. Hi, Raymond. It's terrible, you all. Shawn Taylor told us the Millersville or Goodlettsville, I can't remember which he's from, sheriff. He was, sorry, let me plug in my computer. He was uncovering the corruption in Tennessee. He said it was child teeing. It was running rampant through Sumner County in Tennessee. He was exposing it. He said Sebastian Rogers' Millersville sighting at the Motel 6 was tied to this corruption and teeing and corruption. And he had a raid on his home, on his office by TBI, who took all of the files away. That's not suspicious, right? And then used a nug and shot the windows in his home while he and his family were in it. And one of the persons whose name was coming up in the corruption hit him head on in a car. So Raymond says Tennessee is a leading child teeing hub, in my opinion. I would tend to agree. Please hit that thumbs up. Please, please, please. So here is what the Second Look Commission found. The Tennessee Second Look Commission found in their report. But I do want to show you, before we read that, I kind of want to show you something else. Well, Bain's complaint came after the Tennessee Second Look Commission released its 2025 annual report. We're going to look at it, which documented several cases involving children in DCS custody. The commission's findings include reported child drug use with no formal investigation, numerous runaways with only 2 incident reports filed. So kids are running away and they are not documenting it. So they're just losing children. A child disclosing being trafficked and was not given a forensic interview due to being considered a flight risk, and more. Oh my goodness. No, he was not hit head on. He was hit head on. Neither of them died. But they made a statement to him like that, doing that, right? So he didn't die, but he has been whistleblowing saying, they have a transnational from China. It's coming from China. It's going into Sumner County. It's through the housing industry. Now, Sebastian Rogers' grandmother and step grandmother and step uncle, who owns second generation, they are in the housing industry. It says that they are laundering money, trafficking children. And he has said that long ago. Now, here we go. They can take away his files, but they can't hide the truth. So here we go. DCS, who is supposed to be protecting the vulnerable, protecting those who have been traumatized and abused, are abusing them further. It's just very sad. Okay. So we are going to watch some videos on this. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that a lot of what they're saying is applying to children with disabilities. So I'm going to get right to it. Let's see which one I want to show you first. That's me. Where are all my... Okay. This is credit to WKRN News 2. Let me go ahead and get a banner up before we start watching. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. WKRN Channel 2. This is proof that officials in Tennessee are doing things they shouldn't be doing, isn't it? Yes, it is. Buckle up, because we've got a lot to go through and it's very disturbing. Let me see if this is the one. Is this the one? Here we go. Share this tab. This is credit to WKRN News 2, investigating Department of Child Services. So the State Commission already had their findings. They put them in the 2025 report, which I have pulled up for you, and we are going to go over it. So officials in Tennessee just simply do not know how to do their duties and protect the children. And I think when we're watching the case of Sebastian Rogers, we haven't seen press conferences. We've seen rudeness to the father. We have seen vulgar and lewd displays of indecency in public to the father. They don't talk to him. They don't do press conferences. They don't say Sebastian's name. They don't wear Sebastian's shirt. They never told their community. They never said to their community, by the way, you guys aren't safe or you are safe. So you know what that tells me? They are safe, and they didn't say it because it's an inside job. That's why they didn't have to alert them to some people coming in and sneaking kids out of beds, because they know who it is. It's an inside job. The house was locked. It's an inside job. That is why he did not do a public safety. He should have. He should have told his public, Craddock should have. You all are safe. Sebastian was targeted. The people, county commissioners, told their friends from the county commissioners at the command post, whispered to their friends, don't worry about your children. This wasn't random. Sebastian was targeted. A sedan showed up at 3 a.m. People got out with flashlights. But they didn't tell the public. They whispered it through their good old boy system again. Yes, Ann Reynolds, the report came out it's been on the news for the last 3-4 days. So this is new coming out. We're going to listen to it right now. Sorry, I got to gabbing.
A Tennessee lawmaker is calling on the feds to investigate the Department of Children's Services. Democrat Representative Afton Bain has been collecting stories from families who claim DCS is dragging out cases. Welcome back to News 2 at 4. I'm Kendall Ashman.
And I'm Tori Gessner. Some of these families claim DCS has been keeping kids, especially those with disabilities, in horrible conditions. It's the department tasked with caring for Tennessee's most vulnerable. But the allegations against the Department of Children's Services claim they're doing the opposite.
We've reached a breaking point.
A department with a history of problems. Democratic Representative Afton Bain is now calling on the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate DCS, collecting stories from Tennessee families directly impacted.
Our office decided to file this complaint to elevate to the federal government that there is a pattern of negligence, noncompliance, systemic failures that are delivering serious harm to children.
Among the allegations, horrible living conditions for kids and accusations DCS segregates children who have disabilities. Families and disability rights groups have filed several lawsuits against the department, laying out multiple allegations of physical and psychological abuse. Plus, just this week, a new report by Tennessee's Second Look Commission highlighted a child in state custody reportedly using meth inside DCS offices, and another running away with a second child in state custody and sex trafficking them.
This spans across socioeconomic class. This spans across race. These kids are not being reunited with their families. And not only that, but particularly with kids with disabilities, we are just seeing abhorrent conditions within DCS, and it is unacceptable.
It comes as DCS is set to go before lawmakers today to ask for more money in the budget. Representative Bain says some Tennessee Republicans, which have a supermajority in the state, have said behind closed doors they're horrified at the allegations. She hopes some of them take her complaint and the story she's collected into consideration before giving DCS even more money.
As taxpayers, as citizens, as people who care about kids, we have to demand better from the institutions that are supposed to care and protect them.
We reached out.
It's heartbreaking. It's disgusting. Yes, Ann Reynolds brought up a good point. Jay, this just happened within the last week or less. It happened within the last 4 days. But the investigation started long ago. About 5 or 6 months ago, they were investigating because they were reported that children were sleeping in the DCS offices rather than being placed in homes. So they started the investigation there, and they weren't even being supervised. So at that time, the investigation was about why are they sleeping in offices? Why are they not being supervised? Why are they not being put in homes? And why are allegations of things happening between the children unsupervised in these offices? Well, now they found out a lot more is happening. Meth, STing, and other things. It's just terrible. We are going to continue to keep listening to this before I give you it makes me sick. This is credit to News Channel 5. Let me put that in the banner here. This is a very short one, but I want you to hear this is an attorney who's talking on it. My dog's having a fit. Hold on. News Channel 5. Okay. And then we're going to go over the report. But I want you to hear the news reports first that are out there about Tennessee right now.
Kids have access to meth. Then what kind of supervision are they getting? There's just no supervision for these kids. You can't expect kids to stay in offices and not have terrible things happen.
The report comes from the 17-member Second Look Commission, which reviews child abuse cases across Tennessee. It found a child using meth while staying in a DCS office, raising questions about who is watching them. Attorney Marsha Lowry has brought a class action lawsuit against DCS on behalf of foster kids in state custody.
Kids have access to meth. Then what kind of supervision are they getting? There's just no supervision for these kids.
The report found DCS forced the child to give up the meth, take a drug test, and searched his belongings. But there was no follow-up or investigation to see if other kids had access to meth.
We have between 6 and 15 kids every night in offices across the state.
Late last year, the comptroller blasted DCS for housing hundreds of kids in offices overnight in 2025.
We are working our way out of this problem. We have a plan to work our way out of this problem.
DCS Commissioner Margie Quinn told lawmakers earlier this month fewer kids are staying in offices at the start of 2026. She also put up pictures of facilities DCS plans to build called welcome centers all across the state that would house kids when they first come into state custody. But DCS will not break ground on those welcome centers until late this year, forcing kids into transitional homes. The Second Look Commission found a child with a history of being sex trafficked and recruiting others ran away from a transitional home with a younger child and trafficked the younger child.
This is a really bad situation.
The report found DCS simply returned the older child to the transition home with other children, meaning the runaway could recruit others for trafficking.
What do we expect to happen to these kids? These are kids who are all being destroyed by these circumstances. These kids are just getting worse and worse. Kids have access.
It's a tragedy. So yes, it started, I heard about it 5 months ago. I heard they were investigating because kids were sleeping in the offices overnight. But now we're finding out about meth and STing and unsupervision. Oh, Jules, thank you so much. You are so generous. Thank you for the $20. Busy right now, but we'll be back. We'll be waiting for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So And the fact that it is, and Poppy Love, welcome to the family. Everyone, welcome Poppy Love to the family. Thank you for becoming a member. It's just a tragedy. It's disgusting. It's sick. They're supposed to be protecting children. Okay, I am going to show you something because this really made me mad. This is thank you so much, Jules, to Callie and Poppy. This is a report that DCS from Tennessee put out, pretending they aren't causing half the issues. Commercial sexual exploitation of minors resources. Human Trafficking Prevention Month. In recognition of Slavery and Human Trafficking Awareness Month, the Department of Children's Services is offering resources and training throughout January. This is an attempt to educate and inform staff and community partners regarding the threat of HTing in the state of Tennessee and beyond. HTing, now they're putting this out, mind you, and they are the very ones being involved in HTing. Oh my goodness, Jules, you are so generous. Thank you, dear. Jules just gifted 50 Crime Time Buzz memberships. If you receive any of those, please thank her. How generous. And all of you, welcome to the family. That is just so generous, Jules. Thank you so much. So here, they are the ones doing this. Yes, welcome to all the new members. Welcome to the family. So they are the ones doing this. And now they're putting out training materials on human trafficking is the second fastest growing criminal industry behind drug trafficking. A child is bought and sold for sex in the U.S. every 2 seconds. And in Tennessee, even the officials are involved. In the year 2019 alone, there were 190 confirmed cases of HTing in the state of Tennessee. 131 of those 190 cases were STing, because there's always also labor trafficking and other things. But STing and servitudes, STing were 131 of those reports. Hi, Talina Cole. We're just glad you're here. Jules, thank you so much. 2 dozen roses. Good to see you. Yeah, and you know what? 2 dozen roses, that comment irritated me. And I want to bring this up. If you're in the bushes, I'm about to read a comment. Crispy also said, if everyone knew what Sebastian did, you wouldn't look for him either. So it makes you think they made Sebastian think he did something wrong. Correct. Like he was a criminal, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was a criminal. And that ties to part of my theory that I've been thinking of too. So the whole thing's disgusting, but I need to read this report to you because you are not going to believe it. I want to read this report. So these guys, see how they represent themselves as the ones who are, it's prevention month, we're bringing out awareness, and we're just going to hide the fact that this is going on within our office buildings because we don't properly place children and supervise them. And by the way, we're treating kids with disabilities the worst of all. I mean, it's disgusting. But we're going to pretend by putting out National Human Trafficking Hotline. Are you calling yourselves? The average age of a child sold for sex is 13. That's another thing. Tennessee needs to change their ages. Did you know Tennessee, by the way, they don't call it child teeing in Tennessee. They call it commercial sexual exploitation of minors, but they only cover ages 15 and under. If you are 16 and 17, you are not protected. What age is Sebastian? Bothers me. So they're over there misrepresenting themselves as ones trying to prevent human teeing when they are the ones doing it. And we're not just saying that. It has been proven by the state commission. in their 2025 report. Mimi says, Gigi says, Jay, I want to email you. Can you give me your email address? Absolutely. It is crimetimebuzz@gmail.com. Hi, Valley Gal. Hello, hello. In my opinion, it all started when Sebastian, was essayed. I think so too. And for him to say no one would look for him made it look like he was a monster instead of a victim. Let's get to the disgusting report. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm going to share this tab with you. And I'm going to take you to page 4. And I'll enlarge it. And I can put the link to this. It's a 32-page document. I can put the link to this document in my description if you would like me to. Actually, I will just do that. Oh my gosh, there's a child's autopsy. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we are going to start. I thought I found. Okay. Make sure you see this. Okay. So 2025, that's the report that came out, the second look commission findings, recommendations, and observations. And they did this to raise awareness and strengthen child protection efforts across Tennessee. In the 2024 audit, and this is the 2025 report, in the 2024 audit of the Second Look Commission by the Comptroller of the Treasury, and in that name, that title has come up in the case of Sebastian many times, linked to you know what, okay? So we know the Comptroller of the Treasury's name has come up many times, linked with whether we're just asking questions. We have been told possibly corruption. Alleged, not accusing anyone, just saying what was told to us. Okay, and now here it is in the report. And number 2, recommended in the 2024 audit of the Second Look Commission by the Comptroller of the Treasury, observation number 2 recommended that the Commission improve accountability, transparency, and effectiveness by naming specific stakeholders in its annual report findings and recommendations. Oh my. They have identified responsible entities for each finding. However, in some cases, so they're actually naming them. However, in some cases, such as when a finding involves an individual's actions, like violating a no contact order, the responsibility may not rest with a single stakeholder. So let's go to the medical. Training and education on signs of abuse. Here are the findings. Members strongly believe that a mother with a history of substance use and abuse cases arriving at a pediatric visit while incapacitated should have triggered a report. Whoa. Members strongly believe that a mother with a history of substance abuse use and abuse cases arriving at a pediatric visit while incapacitated should have triggered a report, but it didn't in Tennessee. Members identified a need for additional training for pediatricians on recognizing and reporting signs of abuse in Tennessee. For example, members emphasized that when a child presents with multiple injuries, providers should assess the overall pattern. While individual injuries might seem explainable, taken together, they could indicate abuse and a pattern. They shouldn't have to be told this stuff. Members emphasized the need for greater public awareness of the 10-4 Faces P rule, and we'll have to look that up, to help identify potentially, let me write that down, 10-4 Faces P rule, to help identify potentially abusive bruising. For example, members noted that bruising around the ear and eye, potential signs of abuse, were overlooked during a hospital visit. They felt the child should have received a head CT and skeletal survey. Members also noted that a young child who had been experiencing, heavy weight gain at this age is extremely, wait, where did I go? Sorry. Members noted that a young child who had been experiencing steady weight gain then gained almost no weight for a year between annual well child visits. This was not noted as a concern in his medical files. Lack of weight gain at this age is extremely concerning and should have warranted a workup. Members felt this could have been one of the first signs of neglect, and had intervention been initiated, listen to the line, it might have saved his life. So we now have a death. Oh my goodness, Jules, you are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you again for your $20 donation. In my opinion, we saw her mom go away after being convicted of horrible crimes and gets out to have a regular life. Why wouldn't her daughter think the same would happen to her? Let's say that again. That's a great statement. In my opinion, we saw her mom go away. We're talking about KP's mom. And thank you so much, Jules. Her mom, KP's mom, go away after being convicted, and her charges are a parent or guardian to a minor. And we don't need to get into that because that's sad. That is not something that I mean, I hate that to happen to anyone. But Chris Proudfoot shouldn't have made Sebastian look like try to make him sound like a monster or a perv instead of a victim under his and her supervision. And he gets out to have a regular life. Okay. In my opinion, we saw her mom go away after being convicted of horrible crimes. Gets out to have a regular life. So why wouldn't her daughter think the same would happen to her? Horrible crimes, regular life. Great comment, Jules. Great comment. Thank you. So now we have a death. So pediatricians in Tennessee, what is going on? Like, people know patterns of abuse. People know patterns of bruises. Excuse me 1 second. Kai, sorry, my dog's making a ruckus. Patterns of abuse. You shouldn't have to tell a pediatrician that, but I guess they do. So we are going to keep reading because now they've lost a child because they didn't notice the patterns. Wow. The Second Look Commission recommends an investment in education for all medical professionals on training in child abuse indicators. Such training, created by experts in their field, currently exists through evidential learning. The Second Look Committee recommends appropriate funding to make the training available to all medical professionals in Tennessee. They're going to talk about the autopsy too. So hold on. We're getting to everything. We're building. Reading this helps us to build what is going on in Tennessee. Officials are aware children are disappearing in Tennessee. Children are being abused in Tennessee when they are in the custody of these officials. Does that make you seem what we've been going through with Sebastian's case, being ignored by officials? Right? Hi, Sorta Morta. Being ignored by officials. This is just Tennessee. There are so many missing children in Tennessee. Sebastian was involved with DCS. Summer Wells was involved with DCS. They're both missing. Are they caught up in this mess? Are they being moved from Sebastian, especially with his disabilities? Was custody, did they take him out and get custody of him? And he was reported a runaway because there's a biological father. And remember CP Proudfoot saying, if you need to stop blowing this up so much, let it go, and things like that. He didn't want Seth to keep going. Why? Remember that they kept saying in the beginning, law enforcement knows everything. Well, law enforcement and CPS work together. It wouldn't be a far stretch to think they were going to remove him from the home. Everyone started to work together because now we know there's an STing going on. And where there's STing, like Shawn Taylor said, it's a ring, it's laundering, it's everything else that you can think of going through Sumner County. And he paid for that comment, didn't he? And CPS and law enforcement work very closer together. You are not interrupting at all, Jules. CPS and law enforcement work very close together. CPS does the civil, CPS will do more of the family needs, the rights, and then the police are supposed to come in and investigate whether a crime occurred. And what's even interesting is, did law enforcement investigate whether a crime had occurred on Stafford Court to Sebastian? Did they? CPS cases are reported to the district attorney. So let's talk about that real quick before I go on. If CPS cases are reported to the district attorney, who was the district attorney when these were happening to Sebastian? Well, we know who it was. It was DA Ray Whitley. He had been there 40-some years. The heat was going on in Sebastian's case, and he gave less than 3 weeks notice and retired. I think they all thought, I'm not accusing anyone, I'm asking questions, I'm making statements. I think they all thought that this was going to go away. People were going to give up on Sebastian. So I think my alleged opinion, out he went, but he was told and contacted by CPS. That's where they report their findings to. The DA was told about the 5 CPS reports to Sebastian, or that's protocol. If someone didn't report it, then let's figure out in CPS, law enforcement, whoever should have reported that. But DA Whitley was the DA at the time. Did he receive the reports of 5 different visits and events of abuse against Sebastian Rogers and did absolutely nothing against Chris Proudfoot? Right? Oh, I'm so glad you all have the memberships, and don't miss Saturday. And now you can go back and watch what we did today. We crowdsourced on some information. By the way, if you were in there, we have the wrong guy. It's not the guy with the gray hair. So we got to we'll find him. I have a picture of him somewhere. Yes. Someone asked me, Mark just asked, how old is Carter? Carter is about 28-ish. He's very young. So you have a young force there. And you can see that when you have one who flips off a father. Okay, they're immature, in my opinion. Members noted that the child's autopsy revealed healing rib fractures, which were not addressed in the abuse investigation or linked to the cause of death. This suggested prior abuse. They emphasized that a 2-month-old child is unlike 2-month-old, by the way, my friends. 2-month-old child is unlikely to sustain such injuries without significant trauma, and there was no documentation showing these fractures were investigated further. Members discussed the significance of the term child torture and felt it should be used when a case meets the clinical definition to accurately reflect the severity of the abuse. Members stated that the caregiver's explanation for the bruising was not possible. They felt DCS should have been alerted to the unusual nature of the injuries to prompt a more thorough investigation. We're getting to the ones about in the DCS care. It's coming. Okay. So a child died. They're trying to get training to their medical professionals of what abuse looks like. Okay, Tennessee, come on. I mean, that is ludicrous. And do you know, by the way, police officers are also mandatory reporters. So if you have a police officer, CPS contacts them and says, this child is being abused, we've been to the house 5 times, they are mandatory reporters. They need to report that, and they should have given it to the DA. Caroline says, hi, Caroline. How is that possible for CPS to be so negligent? How is it possible? I don't know. I am just dumbfounded from some of the things that happen in Tennessee. I mean, poor Sebastian, they haven't said his name out loud since April of 2024. And at that time, they didn't even put his picture up for people to know what he looked like. Ann Reynolds, I would love that. And you know what? I think I started listening to the article earlier and I flipped off of it because it wasn't Tennessee. But yes, I would love that link to the Rabun County, Georgia cafeteria worker article. Thank you. Hi, Jay Zelly. So it's just pathetic. So you got an infant who's now has an autopsy. So is it so far-fetched that someone didn't do the right thing in Sebastian's case? They're not doing the right thing at DCS. We've seen the way they act. They don't return calls. They don't do this. They don't do that. Whenever there's a sighting, it's, you know, they don't run to it. Okay. They say to people, many of you have said, like, they have some evidence to give. In Sebastian's case, oh, we're not looking for that kind of evidence. Well, what are you looking for? Good night, the real me. Thank you for being here. Oh, you drove home from Tennessee yesterday. Thank you for going and supporting. Thank you. Hit that like button. Thank you, the real me. Good night. Sorry I'm on later. It works for Minnie. Just kidding, Minnie. Blame Minnie. No, I was at a shower of gender reveal. Let's keep going on what is happening to the children. Wow. The commission suggests prioritizing this funding for the 5 counties with the highest rates of substance-exposed infants for educational initiatives within substance use treatment programs. Okay. Let me see. I want to see. Okay. This is DCF. We're talking about their relatives and kin, the caregivers for the children who are being abused. Members discussed, and when they're saying members, they're talking about the Second Look Committee. Members discussed that it was not clear if there were mental health concerns regarding caregiver and a safety placement that were missed, or if the mental health concerns were brought up after the death of the child, were a way to mitigate or downplay the caregiver's role. So the child dies. Now they're seeing, now they in the investigation, it's not clear to them if there were mental health concerns regarding the caregiver that were missed in the safety placement. So this child was in placement and this happened to the child. Or if the mental health concerns were brought up after the death of the child, were a way to mitigate or downplay the caregiver's role. My goodness. In several cases, we observed that a thorough evaluation of the home and caregiver was not completed. So think about 5 visits to Sebastian Rogers' home. Was there a thorough evaluation of the home and the caregivers? Prior to an immediate protection agreement being implemented, there should be a thorough evaluation of the safety of the home and the caregivers in accordance with DCS policy, non-custodial immediate protection agreement. So let's talk about that. Was there a thorough evaluation? It is rumored there is a family member of the Stinky Socks who was high up in this particular office of DCS that was servicing the reports on Stafford Court. Alleged. I haven't proved it. Was the DA notified like he is supposed to be? The DA is supposed to be notified. Nope, sorry. I hit the wrong button. CPS handles the civil investigations. Law enforcement would handle the criminal, and the reports and findings would go to the district attorney. Did the district attorney receive the CPS cases? Did he turn his head? Did DCS not send them? Did law enforcement not send them? Our mandatory reporters. Did the mandatory reporters at Sumner County Sheriff's Office speak up and say, Sebastian Rogers has been being abused, 5 visits to the home? They are mandatory reporters. Did they thoroughly investigate that home? Did they? What do you guys think? Hi, 2 dozen roses. Hello, everyone coming in. You can email it to me. Thank you, Anne. It is crimetimebuzz@gmail.com. Well, you got it, Real Me. You guys seem to like the late nights. I'll do my best. Cat Lady says, I smell trouble. I smell trouble too. Because now guess what's going to happen? Heads are rolling at DCS. They're asking for a federal investigation into Tennessee's Department of Child Services. So what's going to happen? They're going to blame who? They're going to try and blame everyone else they can except for them. It is very freaking sad and disgusted. Thank you, 2 dozen roses, for that comment. It's shocking, isn't it? So if they are doing this in the guise of protecting the children they're removing from the homes, what is being done under the guise of people who are possibly, could people be pretending to search for children? Look into the sheriff's department for the past 25 years, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. I will go back into the history because I have started that. Not real stellar on the missing persons, by the way. Oops, sorry, you guys, my phone. Not real stellar on the missing persons, finding them. It seems that more percentage, like I keep telling you guys, are found because county and city workers stumble over their remains, bodies. They all need to be, Tennessee, we need people to understand the children are important. Hi, Dan, how are you? Good to see you. The children are important. And when we have missing children, you look. When we have missing children, you have a tip line. When we have missing children and you demand to be the lead, you better stand up and lead. Children's lives matter, Tennessee. So now things are going off. And you know what? This federal investigation, they're going to start pointing fingers too. How many children have they lost? The state commission they are requesting a federal investigation with the Department of Justice. Oh, Loose Cannon says, I'm uploading a video for you to watch about adrenochrome and CPS and a company called CYM. Very scary stuff. Please send it to me. Thank you. Mark says, wait until CP's daughter puts 2 and 2 together. Yeah, I know, Mark. Hi, Bo. What law enforcement in Tennessee was raided by the FBI? They were raided by TBI. The one I was talking about, Shawn Taylor from Millersville, because he was exposing the child teeing ring and trafficking in Sumner County and Tennessee, other counties. And he says someone from Sumner County allegedly called in a favor to TBI. They raided his office, took all of the files. That's his word. Okay. But he did show us pictures. We've seen the pictures of his house then being nugged while his family was in it. And the files are gone. Now we have it's being called, that representative that we just watched, it is being called that she wants a federal investigation based on the state commission's reports and the Second Look Committee's reports. And it is 32 pages long. And it's not just 32 pages of mismatch. It's autopsies. It's restraining children in DCS care so forcefully there are broken bones. What LE in Tennessee was raided by the FBI? Someone, can you Google that for us? What I do remember, it's been a few of them though. actually, Cheryl, I think there have been a couple of them in the last 5 years, but could someone Google for Cheryl which law enforcement agency in Tennessee was raided by the FBI? And let us know. Thank you. Hey, Raymond. Okay, let's keep going. They're talking about the caregivers now. Okay. I want to take you to page. Oh, I already passed page. There's something on page 4 I wanted to read to you. Did it not? Hold on. Okay, we need to read the beginning of this too. Listen to this. This year, the list of the Second Look Committee provided for sampling included children from 89 of Tennessee's 95 counties. So this is statewide, pretty much, you all. This broad representation highlights the widespread nature of repeat severe child abuse and reinforces the need for a coordinated statewide response. Amen. The Commission's work is grounded in the belief that every child in Tennessee deserves to grow up in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. Amen. This report is intended to serve as a resource for policymakers, professionals who work with children and families, and members of the public who are committed to child well-being. By highlighting strengths, patterns, gaps, and opportunities for earlier intervention, the Commission supports collaborative, data-informed strategies that reduce the recurrence of abuse and improve outcomes for vulnerable children. And it's absolutely horrible that they are doing this, and the worst is happening to who? The worst is happening to the children who have disabilities. Hold on one second. Highest number of victims this year in the 2025 report since the Commission's inception. I was looking for a certain video, so I'm sorry. Forgive me for my delay. If you guys could pause for 1 second. I want to give you this one video I was listening to. Okay, here it is. I'm going to share this.
That vaginal estrogen is only for vaginal dryness,
share
that
this
it's
real
local
quick. I
only
need to get a
and
banner
can't
up
help the
before we
rest of your
watch.
body. That's a myth. The
Let
truth
me
is
first of all, before we do that, let me put News Channel 5. Nashville, real quick. Oh, Raymond, thank you so much for gifting another Crime Time Buzz membership, growing our family. We did have a members live today, so if you want to go back and watch that one or come see us this Saturday. Thank you so much, Raymond, and be sure you thank Raymond if you receive it. Thank you to all of Sebastian's Army, Sandra Potter said. Thank you, Sandra. That's such a nice comment. We have such a wonderful chat. We do. We have such a wonderful chat. Mods, thank you for always setting such a wonderful tone in our chat. Okay, let me get to this. I want to take this. Thank you again, Raymond. That's very kind. Take you here. This is, let me change my banner for fair use. It is news. Oh, I do have. Did we watch this one already? News Channel 5? Let me go back. Maybe that's when I watched. I had several of them that I wanted to show you. So hold on. I don't think, no, we didn't watch this one. I don't think. Okay. I'm going to start it right here.
Was examined.
Ben has covered DCS for years, but even for you, this was really surprising what you found.
Well, it really was. It's some very tragic stuff, and it raises questions about abuse and supervision for kids staying in DCS offices and transitional homes.
The report comes from the 17-member Second Look Commission, which reviews child abuse cases across Tennessee. A section focused on abuse kids face inside DCS offices and transitional homes.
So today we have Kylie She's going to come up and talk to us about the Second Look Commission.
It found a child using meth while staying in a DCS office, raising questions about who is watching them.
You can't expect kids to stay in offices and not have terrible things happen.
Attorney Marsha Lowry has brought a class action lawsuit against DCS on behalf of foster kids in state custody.
If kids have access to meth, then what kind of supervision are they getting? There's just no supervision for these kids.
The report found DCS forced the child to give up the meth, take a drug test, and searched his belongings. But there was no follow-up or investigation to see if other kids had access to meth.
We have between 6 and 15 kids every night in offices across the state.
Late last year, the comptroller blasted DCS for housing hundreds of kids in offices overnight in 2025. One child spent more than 100 nights in a DCS office.
We are working our way out of this problem. We have a plan to work our way out of this problem.
DCS Commissioner Margie Quinn told lawmakers earlier this month fewer kids are staying in offices at the start of 2026. She also put up pictures of facilities DCS plans to build, called welcome centers all across the state that would house kids when they first come into state custody.
We have a plan, and it's going to continue to improve because the legislature has resourced DCS with historic resources.
But DCS will not break ground on those welcome centers until late this year, forcing kids into transitional homes. The Second Look Commission found a child with a history of being sex trafficked and recruiting others ran away from a transitional home with a younger child and trafficked the younger child.
This is a really bad situation.
The report found DCS simply returned the older child to the transition home with other children, meaning the runaway could recruit others for trafficking.
What do we expect to happen to these kids? These are kids who are all being destroyed by these circumstances. These kids are just getting worse and worse.
And that is so true. Children are being destroyed by Tennessee officials. Okay, we're going to get to Shawn Taylor in just a second before we go back to the report, because now we're going to read the inside conditions of DCS for these children. Jules said, we should do something. I was in a children's home in Orange County, California. My dad had no idea. Honey, how did they get custody of you to put you in one without your father knowing? Did you not live with your father? Would it be kind of like the Sebastian and Seth situation? See, you all? Caroline says, problem is half the workers themselves are likely users too, no different than hiring alcoholics. Oh. Hi, SI officer. Okay, let's talk about Shawn Taylor really quickly. Freebird has watched all of his videos on Rumble. He has was investigating the mortgage fraud, the STing, trafficking, corruption in Tennessee. He says it's transnational, coming from China, paying our officials. It is being laundered through the housing industry and mortgage fraud. What he said about Sebastian is the Millersville Motel 6 sighting is tied to the Sebastian Rogers disappearance. And this, stuff happening. So he said, the Millersville Motel 6 or Goodlettsville, whatever it was, Motel 6 sighting was directly tied, of Sebastian Rogers, was tied to this corruption. The corruption he was speaking of was child teen, money, mortgage fraud, money laundering through the housing industry. So he must have had proof of that for him to put that at the beginning of one of the videos. Oh, Jules says, I'm trying to read Jules. I was lied to by a convicted, unaltered. I'm not sure what that says. Yes, there is a video, Freebird. I put the video is on my channel, and right at the beginning of it, there's a place where it says the Millersville sighting at the Motel 6 of Sebastian Rogers is directly tied to this corruption. He put it, it's like a white square. Yes, the Psalms videos. And you can go through my channel. We've played them many times, but he put that right at the start of one of the videos about Sebastian. Okay. It's just, regardless, the whole thing is disgusting. And whenever people try and expose it, their lives are in danger. I mean, we've seen death threats just searching for Sebastian, right? I mean, Shawn Taylor's family, their house was, shot up. Jules, I am so sorry that happened to you. How long were you in there before your father found you? So it's a tragedy, and it's officials in Tennessee. So in order to have the right officials in Tennessee who will work with you to continue the child teeing and the money mortgage fraud, think about it. Think about the comptroller of the Treasury who's being mentioned, who's talking in this report about the homes that were changing in the last 2 years through this investigation. Some people had 4 homes when we started. Now they have 1, none in their own name. The one that's listed for them has less bedrooms than they have children. Make it make sense. Sorry, who I thought was my daddy was a unaliver. Oh, oh, honey, I'm so sorry, Jules. You thought that was your daddy. Oh, my goodness. No wonder some have retired, as I said. And yes, as I just said, generational corruption. I was just going to say that. Hi, Stacy Michelle. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for joining us. I was just going to say that, my friends, generational corruption. Anyone who knows who is an official, so they are rigging the elections then, allegedly, in my opinion. Because, Jules, my heart goes out to you and my prayers go up. They need the right people in the right places to continue this. It's transnational. It's coming from China. It's going into Sumner County. It's spread all over Tennessee. And he did I'd love to pull that up, the video right now, but I will pull it up for you, Freebird. We'll pull it up so you can see where Shawn Taylor has that written. And it says, this is related to the Sebastian Rogers case, because I kept playing it over and over for everyone. So, Nicey Marie says, wonder what construction company is getting the bidding on them building. Right. Good old mortgage. Good old boys corruption, Juju says. You know what? I challenge you to give me the name of any other sheriff. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking you a question. Have you ever heard of any other sheriff building a $1.4 million home the same year a child vanishes that we just can't seem to get them to talk about? Builds it 3 miles from the child's step-grandparents in Gallatin, which most likely means the missing child's step-uncle built it. That's a guess. People that live nearby, can we get info on the police station nearby that got raided? Are you talking about Shawn Taylor's police station, or did something happen recently? Well, DA Ray Whitley got the heck out of there. So now we know the CPS reports should have been given to DA Whitley. If they were, he didn't do anything. If they weren't, someone should be in trouble. And all officers are mandatory reporters, so they should have been going crazy about that abuse. Okay. Yeah, did he hit the lotto? A well-planned lotto number in my, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say it. Okay. Let's go back to the report. I'm going to read to you about the children's treatment in the residential facilities. Just making sure I didn't miss some. Okay, no, I didn't. Share this tab. The content is so disturbing, but you know what? it shows we aren't crazy, right? I mean, the last 2 years was Whitley at the house when Sebastian Rogers went missing. He showed up day 3, I believe. SI says our world is so disturbing. But yes, it's generational corruption. If you talk to people in high agencies and you ask them about Sumner County, they will tell you it is generational corruption. Even their county commissioners will not stand up to Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And when they were begged to help with Sebastian, you know what they said? You'll have to take it out of the county if you want this solved. So they know their sheriff's office will not solve the Sebastian Rogers case. The county commissioners said you will have to take it out of the county if you want it solved. Well, who wouldn't want it solved? But they won't let them take it out of the county because Sumner County won't let it go to the FBI. Thank you, Ann. Thank you so much. Craddock's Lotto is Kathy Socks. In my alleged opinion, that was a comment. Nicey says, but still asking for a raise. Yep, he's still asking for a raise. Think of it all. SI officer says, Warsham's owner died, stepsister died, former sheriff died, DA retired. Oh, wow. Are you talking about stepsister Phoebe? Phoebe, Sonny, I'm writing that down. Ray runs. After 45 years, he didn't even give a month's notice. That's a really good comment. And Worsham guy dies. Really good comment. That is really important, isn't it? Yes, Nancy Guthrie. I have been following that so very closely, so I am going to be covering some of that. I also want you all to know Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is Michael Vaughn's Justice for Michael, Stacey Wandra's preliminary hearings. They are going from Tuesday through Friday. Most of you know I went out and looked for Michael Vaughn. I visited Fruitland on the year mark to get some context. I did some interviews with people, talked to them. But I really want, if they are going to broadcast it so we can see it, I will be showing that here. I do know it starts at 9 a.m. and that is my time. So if you're Eastern time, it's 11 a.m. 2 Dozen Roses says exactly 100J. They should all be going to jail when the sheet totally is dug down and hits the, oh, my comments went away. Hits. Also, the DA was there at the home when Sebastian was reported missing. Oh, so she knew things, period, in my opinion. Okay, interesting. Ooh. 2 Dozen Roses. How do you know that? That's interesting. I was told day 3. I think Jen Coffindaffer is the one who said day 3. Okay, so, but I believe you. Just if you could send me some of where you got that. It's just disgusting. I mean, I don't even know how to keep saying that. Look into the past sheriffs of Sumner. I did see the one before Sonny had problems. One was in the newspaper. His daughter stole the drugs from the police station in Sumner County. Shawn Taylor mentioned the Bandy family running the town. Thank you. That helps. I know you said you watched all of his videos on Rumble. Are they still there, Freebird? And I will put Freebird, I will post that statement. I'll pull it out of my videos and I will post Shawn Taylor's statement for you, okay? Because I do want you to see that. Because he did talk about the sighting at the Motel 6 for Sebastian Rogers was tied to this corruption. But I want to post that for you because I like receipts and it's nice so we can verify things. So I will get that for you. I just made a note of it. You all are amazing, audience. Thank you so much. Okay, let's keep going. This is now about the safety in the home or in DCS. Safety and treatment of children inside residential facilities. And this is kind of a warning. Buckle up because I just can't stand it. because I think of these kids who were taken from their families, and even though they were in horrible homes, they were missing their parents. They no idea where they are. They're sleeping on the floors in offices. They're being mistreated. They're being trafficked. Just the whole thing's disgusting. So buckle up. Findings. Members strongly felt the need for additional accountability, you think, and transparency, you think, regarding the treatment of youth. You think? How about all over in every agency in Tennessee, well placed by the state in a residential facility? So even they're not transparent. They're not accountable. Oh my gosh. It was noted that we take a child out of a bad situation and put them in a situation that is supposed to be safe, and it is worse. Ew. I'm just disgusted. Both children and staff at a residential facility corroborated allegations that staff improperly restrain youth during therapeutic holds, resulting in injuries. The reported injuries include broken bones. You don't restrain children like that. That you are to be trained to restrain a child so you do not injure them. And you're keeping them from injuring themselves often. That's disgusting. So, staff improperly restrained youth during therapeutic holds, resulting in injuries. Injuries include broken bones. Members had significant concerns regarding the practice of therapeutic holds. Let me make sure you have this in front of you too. Okay. Therapeutic holds. It was discussed that these holds are being used too often. They're used incorrectly and with heightened emotions, and they are resulting in injuries and a death. Oh my gosh, and even a death, another death. So what they're saying is their emotions, they're angry, they're upset, and that's when they're doing the holds, when their emotions are high and they're hurting the children. Members emphasize the need for de-escalation training. Amen for that. But also a complete reevaluation of the use of therapeutic holds. I agree with. Members noted reoccurring incidences where staff provided children with substances or exposed them to sexual content or conversations while in their care. Great. So we're now showing them sex content, having conversations with them about sex, and giving them substances, probably so they are not aware of their surroundings, so they could be trafficked. Because most people who are trafficked, they keep them drugged up, so they are not like, they'll wake up. I saw a movie, she wakes up, they give her more, and they just keep them drugged up so they don't run, they don't know where they are, they just don't have their wits about them. Staff at a residential treatment provider corroborated allegations that they served children food with maggots in it. Mind you, this is Tennessee Department of Children's Services, with maggots in it, and in several instances, they are served food with mold or spoiled milk. And that is how Tennessee takes care of their children who have already been abused. They abuse them worse. And then I say, just like the silence in Sebastian's case, in my opinion, is another form of ABUSE, allegedly, in my opinion. Allegations that, and by the way, again, CPS reports should have been out going across Whitley's desk, 5 of them. And if they didn't, some of those mandatory reporters of law enforcement and everything else have some explaining to do. And now Whitley is replaced by someone else. He got the heck out of there. 40-some years, they couldn't get the guy out. Suddenly, the fire started heating up because people weren't letting go of Sebastian's case. The pig fest was coming up. All was going on. And out he went with barely a notice. Allegations that staff members at residential treatment provider antagonized the children, bringing up their trauma in front of others and sending them into crisis were corroborated by children in the facility and other staff members. This is disgusting. I hope they are all arrested. Members noted that an SUI case, does anyone know what SUI would be? Let me look it up real quick for us. I don't know. Oh, wait. State unemployment insurance? Let's see. Does that fit? I don't know. Where was it? Members noted that an SUA case alleging abuse at facilities was closed as unsubstantiated with safety issues noted. However, there were a significant number of issues that were corroborated by staff members. It was questioned why this was not substantiated. Because honesty doesn't seem to be Tennessee's best quality, their virtue. I'm just coming back to check on you all. Are you all okay? I'm reading away. Yes, the kids, Dan. That's so sad, isn't it? Yes, Cheryl, look what happened to the Turpin kids. They went from horrible abuse and got abused again in the homes that they were placed in. And it broke my heart. I can't watch their story anymore. It's just so heartbreaking. And Mark says, what happened to transparency in this hellhole of hillbillies? Exactly. And accountability and doing your job and following your oath. Sebastian Rogers has been silenced. That goes right along with abuse, in my opinion. What does LDS mean? LSD, did you mean? Isn't any better? It's just so sad. Members noted that in one case, the stepmother... Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Let me go back to it. Members noted that an SUI case wasn't substantiated. The facility was closed as unsubstantiated with safety issues noted. However, significant issues were corroborated, so they do not understand why it was not substantiated. Members noted that in one case, the stepmother, who appeared to be aware of the repeated physical abuse that was occurring, was employed at an agency that contracts with DCS. Read that again. The stepmother, who appeared to be aware of the repeated physical abuse that was occurring, was employed at an agency that contracts with DCS, and she knew it. Safety and treatment of children inside the residential facilities. Recommendations. The Second Look Commission has significant concern regarding the treatment and conditions of children placed in residential facilities throughout the state. In response, the Commission recommends that the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury, we've had a little interaction with that person based on looking up housing that keeps changing right before our eyes, undertakes a comprehensive, good luck. So the Commission recommends that the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury, remember, he plays housing games allegedly, undertakes a comprehensive audit of all residential facilities housing children. I don't like that. I hope there's someone else with him. Given its oversight authority and capacity for independent evaluation, the Comptroller's Office is uniquely positioned to conduct a thorough assessment and address any systematic issues identified. Whoa, 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 whoa. So if the Comptroller of the Treasury, let's talk about this, is uniquely positioned to conduct a thorough assessment and address systematic issues identified at DCS, they certainly could be doing that. They certainly could be doing that throughout law enforcement, missing children's cases. But instead, we're seeing people's homes change, the number of homes they own change, their property tax stuff changing. It's interesting, allegedly, in my opinion. Oh, I got you guys. Okay, thank you, Caroline. I thought she meant LSD. Thank you so much for clarifying. The General Assembly should undertake a comprehensive evaluation of the current oversight structures and mechanisms governing residential facilities that serve children in the state custody. Strengthening oversight is essential to ensure the safety, well-being, and quality of care in these settings. Sorry, I'm answering a text. Okay. I know my dog is making noise. In these settings. Sorry, y'all, I lost my place. Upon completion, ongoing Sentinel event review requested by Shelby County District Attorney. Oh, we have a district attorney who is speaking up. Upon completion, ongoing Sentinel event review requested by Shelby County District Attorney regarding therapeutic holds, the Commission urges all facilities to implement the resulting guidance to ensure the safety and well-being of children in care. There are opportunities for training on safe therapeutic holds. The Second Look Commission specifically mentioned Crisis Prevention Institute's training as a resource. Well, what are they going to do in the meantime? Now, we're getting to autism, so buckle up. The Second Look Commission, in conjunction with the Juvenile Justice Review Commission, should review incident reports, case recordings, and all documentation related to therapeutic holds, the existing systems of oversight, and how they are currently implemented. Residential treatment providers shall comply with requests pursuant to, and then there's the laws. Now we get to mental health and autism spectrum disorder. And I'm going to put that up there for a second, and I'm going to mute myself and go run to the restroom real quick. Be right back. Shawn Taylor is a Millersville or Goodlettsville sheriff who was uncovering the child trafficking and corruption that is transnational to China that occurs in Sumner County and all over Tennessee. And he said the Motel 6 sighting of Sebastian Rogers is tied to that. So he was a sheriff, and then they retaliated against him with nug shots to his windows of his home while his family was in there and hitting him head on. Hi, Diane. We're glad you're here. Hi, Cinderella. Exactly why I don't believe in organized religion. I think I'm missing what you guys are talking. Oh, I got you guys. Okay. I'm just going to mute. I'll be right back in just a moment. Hi, all. I'm back. Hi, Rita. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Laura Arnold. Thank you guys for coming in. You know, I don't have a lot of social media pages, no, but I am getting ready to set them up. But I am on X. But I'm getting ready to set them up. I'm just looking for someone kind of to do it with me for me. I'm terrible at social media. Isn't that funny? Thank you, Freebird. Thank you for sending that to me. 2 Dozen Roses, thank you for being a member for 13 months. And she says, 2 Dozen Roses says, thank you for keeping us all in the know, Jay. You are welcome, my friend. And Nicey says, we'll have to say one thing. Don Wells did mention about this, but it was Biden. Don Wells did mention about this, but it was Biden. That was over 300,000 children that have been missing. Okay, that's the whole nother, that is, if you want to go watch a hearing, go watch that hearing where they're talking about the 300,000 children who were immigrants brought to our country and disappeared. Over 300,000. Body break, you're right. So, yes. Did anyone answer for our friend who was asking who was raided in Tennessee by the FBI recently? And SI officer, you're right. She says, in my opinion, it's because it's been happening way too long. They didn't ever want it to ever be exposed. And it's being exposed now. And if you think these people aren't going to start pointing fingers to the other ones who are involved, then no, because they are calling for a federal investigation. They're asking the Department of Justice. So now we're talking about their findings for children with autism spectrum disorder. Oh, goodness, I'm going to get a stomachache reading this. Members noted that a child was given a self-diagnosis of autism, but it was normal behavior for a maladaptive environment. The behavior exhibited by the child was due to the child reacting to a traumatic environment. Oh my gosh. There should be consideration that these may be normal adaptive behaviors to a non-ideal or traumatic situation. They also acknowledge that access to psychological testing can be delayed due to wait lists. So they just self-diagnosed of autism. Wow. They just decided that he has autism because he was acting a certain way when he was traumatized by his environment. Members noted that children who have experienced severe abuse are sometimes misidentified as having nonverbal autism, when their silence may actually be a trauma response. Oh, that's sad. If autism is to be considered as a factor in a child's case and a basis for decisions, there needs to be a formal clinical diagnosis consistent with DSM-5 criteria conducted by qualified medical professionals. Findings. Members expressed concern about the number of psychiatric medications being prescribed to a 12-year-old diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenia. They noted that abruptly stopping these medications can cause serious side effects, and prescribing them to a child with a known history of noncompliance was considered highly risky. This is really sad. The Second Look Commission recommends the critical need for integrated health care services for children in foster care. So they need to give them more health care. They need psychological care. They need psychiatric care. They need social work support. They need health evaluations. They need family counseling. They need individual counseling. And they need community resources. And what's happening to them? They are being abused. They are being insulted. They are being shamed. They are being tortured. They are being bones broken because they are being restrained. And they're having them sleep on the floor. Members noted that in many child death cases, the family's first contact with the department was due to substance exposure at birth. They questioned what ongoing services or supports are available to parents or caregivers after a child is born substance exposed. In one instance, family members and caregivers displayed a repeated inability to quit substance use. This resulted in repeated injuries and poor supervision for the child. The substance use disorder by caregivers was perpetually putting the child at risk. Oh my goodness, you guys. I can't read anymore right now. I just can't read anymore. Stable housing is a cornerstone of recovery and family reunification, yet many caregivers with substance use disorders face significant barriers to securing safe and affordable housing, especially those with prior involvement in the criminal justice system. We are going to stop right there, and I'm going to come back to your comments. Operation Clean Sweep. Freebird says, Crime Time Buzz, just sent you a new video of Shawn Taylor's 18 days ago. Wonderful. Thank you, Freebird. I look forward to watching that. You know, we'll have to revisit Shawn Taylor. We'll do, I will do a Michael Vaughn tomorrow and a, thank you, 2 dozen. I definitely, well, I could, yeah, I'll do a Michael Vaughn tomorrow and then Nancy Guthrie, and then hopefully we can get Sebastian in there too. And if not, the next day I will definitely cover Sebastian too. Let's go ahead. There's something on X that I need to see. Hold on. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm going to keep you on this page. Don't go anywhere. There's something coming out on X that I think we might want to see. At least that's what I think. Let me see here. Hope it's about a report they're filing. Okay, let me see here. Hold on. Let me inquire something. Oh, 3 minutes ago. Oh, goodness. Okay. Hoo-doo-doo. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just see if this is 3 minutes ago, 23 minutes ago, 4 minutes. Okay, here we go. 4 minutes ago. Hold on. Let me just do something real quick. Hold on. I'm going to mute you guys for a second. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to mute you for 1 second so I can respond to something. Are you talking about Sebastian and Summer Wells flyers? I see 2 posts. Are those what you're talking about? Okay, let's see what just came out, my friends. I wasn't muted. I apologize. Okay, let's see what is coming out here. We have Sebastian and Summer. You know what? Sebastian has been missing 2 years now, so he should get an age progressed composite from National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They come out after the children have been missing 2 years. Okay, let's read this. I'll enlarge it for you. Can you all see that? Okay, Summer Wells. Remember, if you are in Arkansas, if you know anyone in Springdale, Arkansas, if you're near Springdale, Arkansas, if you live in Springdale, Arkansas, hi, Rita. Please, 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 please keep your eyes open. And if you see anything strange, report it to police, please. Especially if you're around those motels, like, Motel 6s, and all those other kinds, and you see something very strange. Strange maybe being several children with one individual. It could be children who don't know where they're going, really. Like, you can see that they're not engaging, children who don't have a luggage with them, children who don't seem to know the people in front of them well. They trail behind, but close, just those kind of things. Just keep your eyes out, especially in Springdale, Arkansas. Please. At Night in One World, add missing Tennessee girl Summer Moon Utah Wells 10 to search effort for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers 17. Are you ready for that, my friends? Would you like me to repeat that? At Night in One World, add missing Tennessee girl Summer Moon Utah Wells 10 to search effort for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers 17. What in the world does that mean? Let's read it. At Night in One World, add missing Tennessee girl Summer Moon Utah Wells, who is now 10. Isn't that sad? I remember what the day she went missing. To the search effort for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Okay, so there's a $550,000 reward. Hold on. I apologize. I'm just going to mute you for 1 second so I can do voice to text. Okie dokes, you all. Sorry about that. So the reward is now $550,000 reward. We're going to go over this. This is huge. You know why this is huge? It's a joint search now. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. It's a joint search. So guess what? Oh my gosh. Hold on. For which one? Sebastian or Summer? Oh my gosh. So they have now, it is now a joint search. Sebastian. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I have something coming through. I have to just pause for 1 second and take this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting information as we're talking right now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's just read this right now. We're going to be on here 5 more minutes. I'm going to talk about this because I thank you guys for being here. I know it's late, but I'm just going to mute for 1 more second and tell them I will get back to them in a minute. Here we're at now. Okay. My apologies. Sometimes, things come through or I receive something and I need to, oh my God, it's huge. I need to talk to you guys. Okay. Thank you for saying you're fine. Sometimes things come through and I just have to look at them right away. So let's go to this. This is huge, you guys. This is huge. Sebastian and Summer are now a joint search, which I will tell you potentially kidnapped or trafficked. Have you seen us? Oh my Lord. What I will tell you right now is if they're doing a joint search, because we all know that at night, Summer has been one of the kids that they have been trying to help find. We've seen the billboards for Summer and everything. But now, at night in One World, add missing Tennessee girl, Summer Moon, Utah, 10 to the search effort for Sebastian, 17. So they must have found a link between the two. Have you seen us potentially kidnapped or trafficked? It is on X. That's where I'm reading it from, my friends. At night on X. Which means this is huge. This is big. And I bet might be hearing some other things to follow. But Sebastian should also be getting an age progressed picture because it's 2 years. And at 2 years, they get their first one, and then they get a new one, I think, every year. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen. I want to see if there's any new information on this flyer, so bear with me. $550,000 reward. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen on February 25th, 2024 in Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee, near Stafford Court. He was 15 years old, 5'5", about 120 pounds, with blonde hair or brown hair, brown or hazel eyes, they change with the mood, and black square frame glasses. Last reported wearing all black. See, I like that they did that instead of the sweatpants that was all wrong in the sweatshirt. Sebastian has autism and other medical conditions that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. Summer Moon Utah Wells was reported June 15th, 2021 from Rogersville, Hawkins County, Tennessee. Her sheriff, thankfully, has now retired. She was 5 years, and I don't say that meanly. I just say that because he was not, in my opinion, capable, trained, whatever. She wasn't going to be found under his watch, in my opinion. Okay. Allegedly. She was 5 years old and would now be 10. Both children remain missing. Reward notice. A combined reward pool of up to $550,000 applies to credible information leading to A, Sebastian's safe recovery and the arrest and prosecution of those responsible, and B, actionable information that directly leads to locating and recovering Summer and the arrest, prosecution of those responsible, subject to the revised reward terms. And you can go to One World Media at that link. If you know anything, no matter how small, report it immediately. Let me see what's coming out right now. Hold on. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm going to read you guys something else. It's right here. Hold on. So it is a joint investigation, which makes me believe there's a link to the kids. Remember how we used to say, if we find one, are we going to find the other? Potentially kidnapped or trafficked. I'm here, buddy. Hold on. Let's see what else they got here. There's something else coming out, I think. Oh, darn it. Me and my tech skills. You guys are so good. Fixed. Okay, let's see what's out now. Hold on. I thought it was going to be about the, oh, goodness. Okay. Here you go. I thought it was going to be about the deputies, but this is even better. Summer, Moon, Utah Wells. Please tell me something. If you followed Summer's case, put a 1 in the chat. At night, this was 8 seconds ago. At night, received credible tips overnight regarding Summer, Moon, Utah Wells. I'm going to cry. What if? Sorry, y'all. Got your 1s. Good. I'm glad I have people in here who cover. Okay, good. Thank you all. This case is close to a lot of our hearts who followed this case from day one. And I see me too. I'm barely able to read this right now. Hi, Melissa Brown. Hi, Kelly. I'm barely able to read this right now, so I'm just going to kind of compose myself. Sorry. At night, received credible tips overnight regarding Summer, Moon, Utah Wells. This comes as we've received nearly a dozen tips about her since our search for Sebastian began in September of 2024. We have relayed the photographs of the child, oh my gosh, to international authorities, so she's overseas, I would assume, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and TBI in an effort to validate the images of a child who closely resembles Summer Wells in a Russian or Slovakian classroom. Wow. All tips are being taken seriously and forwarded immediately. Let's pray right now. Prayers up for Summer. Heavenly Father, please bring this baby home. We don't know what she's been through, but if this is her, please, Lord, let them get their hands on her, around her, surround her, and bring her home. Please, Lord, watch over everyone who is searching for Sebastian and Summer, that they will be brought home, whatever situation they're in, whatever condition, that we will find them. Lord, if this is Summer in Russia or a Slovakian classroom, please, Lord, don't let them move her before they get there to check. Amen. Wow. This is something. Let's read it one more time. Little Summer Moon, who was about to start kindergarten. Okay, at night received credible tips overnight regarding Summer Moon, Utah Wells. This comes as we've received nearly a dozen tips about her since our search for Sebastian began in September of 2024. We have relayed the photographs of the child to international authorities and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and TBI in an effort to validate the images of a child who closely resembles Summer Wells in a Russian or Slovakian classroom. Wow. All tips are being taken seriously and forwarded immediately. Wow. Okay. That is something. I'm glad I read it while I was with you all. So, if you see these kids, please call. They are potentially have been kidnapped or trafficked. We don't know we don't know where they are, but this could be a good lead if she's in a Russian classroom. And I'm sure, I don't know if they'll put the pictures out. I have no idea if they're going to do that, but I'm glad that this came out while we were together. Because I know that prayers, Lord, yes, please hear our prayers. Bring these kids home. And if this is Summer, please, Lord, let them get to her. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's one more place we're going to go and check before we go to One World. Let me go to One World. Let me see something, y'all. I'm going to show you something. Okay, hold on. oneworldmedia.com. Hold on, so guys, I'm going to check something else. There's another article on this from One World that we can get if I know how to do it. Go to news. Okay, I'm going to share this tab with you, and we are going to see if there's another. I'm hearing there's another article on One World, so we're going to look at it real quick. Let me see when they put it out here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm under news, right? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's in my email. Hold on. I'm just going to check my email. We are just going to check the email. Thank you for hanging in there with me tonight. It's been a good time. It takes you there. Thank you all. You're amazing. I know you care about Summer too, so I'm so glad we're together for this. Okay, let's read this. At night in One World, add missing Tennessee girl Summer Moon Utah Wells 10 to search effort for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers 17. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Here we go. One World Society Corp and Nat Night Creative Intelligence today announced the formal expansion of their public awareness and tip routing initiative to include the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells alongside the ongoing search for missing Tennessee teen Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Both these children, by the way, had Department of Child Services in their lives. The organizations are releasing an updated dual case poster and an updated reward framework designed to 1, increase awareness in Tennessee and beyond, 2, reduce misinformation by emphasizing law enforcement, first reporting, and 3, increase the flow of credible, actionable information into official investigative channels. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian was last seen in the Stafford Court area of Hendersonville, Tennessee. At the time he went missing, he was 15 years old, approximately 5'5", approximately 120 pounds, with blonde or brown hair, brown or hazel eyes, and black square framed glasses. He has medical conditions, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. Summer Moon Utah Wells was reported missing from Hawkins County, Tennessee in June. It was June 15th, 2021 at 5 years old. Her case remains active and ongoing. One World and At Night emphasize a single rule. This is their rule. You contact 911 or the appropriate authorities first in any real world tip situation. Please. And I can't stress that enough either. I love that you all trust us enough to submit the tips. I truly do. But sometimes if I don't see an email or, right away, it might be quicker to just dial 911. And then if you want me to see it, send it to me. You all, if that's Summer and she's found, that means she was trafficked to Russia. Wow. Okay. If you believe you have an immediate or time-sensitive sighting, dial 911. For Sebastian Rogers, contact Sumner County's office at 615-451-3838 and ask for Blanche. Just kidding. 615-451-3838 and or the TBI 1-800-TBI-FIND or tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov. You can also submit an anonymous tip online at tips.fbi.gov. For Summer Wells tips, contact the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. After you have notified law enforcement, you may contact At Night's tip line. Call or text 844-922-3236. Email mostwanted@manhunts.one. Combined pool up to $550,000. A combined reward pool of up to $550,000 is available for credible, actionable information that directly leads to A, Sebastian's safe recovery and or the arrest and or the arrest and prosecution of those responsible, and or B, the location recovery of Summer and or the arrest and prosecution of those responsible. All reward eligibility is governed by the updated reward terms and conditions below. At Night, the tip submitted to At Night without proof of prior law enforcement submission will be disqualified. At Night operates independently of law enforcement and is not a government agency. They are a creative intelligence division owned and directed by One World Society Corp. And remember, Dog the Bounty Hunter was with us the other night in our show, and he told you guys that one of the owners of One World is one of the owners of Google. One World does not represent Summer Wells' family or any party in her case. This effort supports awareness and routes credible tips to the appropriate authorities in case contacts. And you know what? Sometimes when you have families who aren't speaking out for the missing children, someone needs to step up and do it. Do not approach or confront anyone, because her parents don't even, when they are asked if last time they spoke into law enforcement, well, they don't call us anymore. Yeah, they don't call it. Well, are you kidding me? It's your child. You go to the office. You make the calls. You show you care. The only one in these two children who we've seen that from is Seth Rogers. Do not, and by the way, Summer's parents didn't search either. Do not approach, allegedly in my opinion, but I watched it. Do not approach or confront anyone you believe may be connected to either case, because they are probably dangerous, my friends. Do not trespass. Do not endanger yourself or others. Record details safely, time, location, vehicle description, direction of travel, and report to law enforcement immediately. The updated dual case poster may be distributed publicly without alteration. Media outlets may request print-ready assets and placement guidance via press@oneworldmedia.com. Company. What do they say we should do? Print ready assets and placement. Okay. Anyway, so here are some photos. And these break my heart. Look at how when you look at Summer, you see neglect. And that's just that. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. 2 dozen roses. Thank you for gifting a membership. Welcome to the family. Whoever receives it, please thank 2 dozen roses. Thank you, dear. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm shook up by that. Okay. So these are the people, Don and Candace Wells. If you're not familiar with this case, Don was caught selling his daughter years before. He has older children too. He was caught selling his daughter. This is true. On a corner, and his sister saw him and stopped him and got him in the car. So it wouldn't be a far stretch. He is known to go to Knoxville, to the whorehouses and the drug houses. And he disappears for days and leaves with debts. 1 year coming back right around Christmas with nothing but debt, having spent his check. That was the Christmas before Summer was taken. They shaved Summer's head, as you can see in the bottom far left, right before she went missing. If you look at Summer, she's often unbrushed hair, unkempt. Breaks my heart. 2 dozen roses said I sure would be at that office every day, plus calling every day or every other day if my child or grandchild was missing. Me too. Hi, Nick the Hat. Welcome in. Great post about Summer. Thank you. You guys put it out while I was live and I had to cry because this case means a lot to me. So a lot of neglect, a lot. I mean, you can see it in the pictures. We don't need to pummel it home. These are parents also who aren't searching. They don't go see Summer Wells. They don't go see law enforcement. They don't call to see what's happening with her. When they went to the house on Van Hill Road in November, TBI was trying to get a hold of them and could not. So if you believe you have an active or imminent sighting, call 911 immediately. Do not confront or pursue. Do not trespass. Public safety and the integrity of the official investigation take precedence over any reward consideration. So I'm going to ask Nick, are you still in here? Hey, Nick. This is amazing, by the way. Thank you. And thank you for stopping in here after making me cry. But I have a question for you. Is there a point where you guys would release to the public the photos that you think you're looking at, or or would we just hear how it turns out? No, Diane Miller, she would never be given back to them. I shouldn't say that. I'm not in the case. I can't imagine she would be given back to them. Candace Bly Wells has had 6 children, 2 of whom were taken by the state of Wisconsin. The rumor is that her sister, Rose Bly, called Department of Child Services on her for the way she treated her children. Her son in Wisconsin is in a group home because of a bat to the head. Okay? He is compromised for the rest of his life. Her daughter, who's also named Candace, that's on Dog. So it'll be up to Dog it would be up to Dog and Leo if you guys release photos. Okay. I did hear one of the interviews with Duchess and KP was a fake. I also heard that Duchess knew friends of KP's, which is why they were hooked up with Duchess. So I would believe it was a fake. I did hear that, Becky. Yes. Okay. So it's up to Dog and Leo if you guys release photos. I would love to see. So you all, there may be a sighting of Summer Wells. It is now a joint search, which I'm guessing, Nick, you probably can't answer me. I'm just guessing, Nick, that if you are now put them together, because you've all along included Summer. So if you've now put them together, I am now thinking that you found a link between the two. And you may not be able to answer me. So just, if you can't answer me, don't. And I imagine because it's international, Nick is saying, so there's an entire process. Yeah. Wow. Russia. Wow. So Summer Moon Utah Wells, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, both missing from Tennessee, the very state where Department of Child Services is trafficking children, breaking bones when they are trying to restrain them. Both children, Summer and Sebastian, had DCS. DCS was visiting Summer's home the day after she went missing. And Sebastian had DCS to his house just a few weeks before he went missing. So it's terrifying. Just terrifying. So hopefully this tip leads them to Summer. Maybe if we find Summer, we find Sebastian. I don't know. But prayers up for all of them, everyone who may be going to Russia. So do you do facial recognition, or do you, well, you probably can't tell us, Nick, how you guys do it. So maybe they're using facial recognition. Maybe they're going out there. I don't know. But let's hope that if this is Summer, oh, wouldn't that be great? She would be rescued and brought home. That would be just wonderful. Y'all, I want to thank you for being here this evening. I know I'm getting later at night, but thank you for spending this time with me. I will definitely talk to you about Summer tomorrow. If something comes out, we are going to talk about Michael Vaughn tomorrow, and anything that might come up with Sebastian or Nancy Guthrie. Cheryl says Russia is very close to Alaska. Oh, yeah, you're right. And I told Jules I've been looking into Alaska a little bit today, so I'll continue to look. But yes, wow. Thank you, Nick, for coming in. Thank you guys for the work you do. We all need good news. You're right, Diane Miller. We do. Show Poodles, thank you. I want to thank you all for being here. Without you, I wouldn't have a channel. You make it everything. You're amazing sleuths. Dan, I appreciate all your emails assisting me in things. All of you, Doodle, everyone who assists me, does your research for me, sends me timestamps. Hi, Melissa Brown. Thank you for being here. And Freebird, I'm going to get that for you. And thank you for emailing me that stuff. And I want to get that one thing for you so you can put that in your repertoire of what you're watching with Shawn Taylor. Everyone have a wonderful evening. And remember, if you see something, say something. And by gosh, if you know something, say something. Have a wonderful evening. We will talk soon. I will see you tomorrow, my friends. Be blessed.